Hi everyone, Paul Mays here. Welcome to the Trumpet Prof channel. My last video was called Easy High Notes in 5 minutes. Those who had a lesson after that video will know that in fact I was exaggerating. It wasn't 5 minutes at all. In most cases, it was less than 2. The Mays double aperture system makes playing high easy. In fact, it makes it this easy. Now, I didn't do too much there. I didn't take in much of a breath, and the setup process didn't take very long. I'll show you again. The note just comes out because I'm using what I have naturally. That's what the system does. It uses what you have naturally. I've put this video together to respond to your comments and questions about the Easy High Notes in 5 minutes video. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. I've left a link below. Of course, I'm also going to give you a few more tips and a little bit more information about it. Okay, let's get on to those questions and comments. A few of you commented about double embouchures. I've seen a double embouchure before. Does the embouchure change and at which pitch? The first thing to say is it's not 2 embouchures, it's 2 apertures. There's a big difference. So MDAS uses 2 apertures and they each have their own job to do. The sound aperture only produces sound, and the frequency aperture only changes frequency. You might be wondering how you can blow through 2 apertures at the same time. Let me show you. I don't do lip buzzing because I don't think it's an efficient way to play, but for the purposes of this explanation, it's actually quite useful. If I make a small aperture and blow through it quite fast, just between my lips, I'll get sound. That's what I call the sound aperture. If I whisper an F sound, then I'm forming an aperture between my lower lip and my teeth. Do them at the same time and you're blowing through 2 apertures. That should help answer another question that came in. Do you switch between the 2? Now, I'm presuming that meant the 2 apertures. Well, no, because they work together. I have a chip on one of my front teeth, so when I blow with the F sound, the air shoots through that gap. Because the gap is so small, the air stream passing through it is very narrow, and therefore it only vibrates a very small part of my lip. That gives me a really easy high note. That's why it's called the high frequency aperture, or HFA. Many commented they believe that either they or others already do this, and I would agree with that. The trouble is they don't know that they're doing it or doing a version of it. And there are lots of versions of MDAS. Like I said before, I believe this is the way all great high note trumpet players actually do it. This is how they get their range. This is how they get their efficiency. Have a look at these. It doesn't matter whether I've been playing for 5 hours non-stop or if I haven't played for 6 weeks. As long as my sound aperture can vibrate, then my high notes will always be there because the space between my teeth is always the same. How do you actually know it's the gap which gives you the high notes? That's a really good question. I've actually made this mold which fits just behind my teeth and it blocks off my gap. So here's my gap. Now I put this in and I don't have a gap anymore. It's gone. Have a listen. Take it out. Apart from the theory of it, which I think is difficult to argue with, that proves that fundamentally it's my high frequency aperture that's giving me my high notes. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. If you found your HFA, I'd also like to hear about that too, so please do leave comments below. No point having a way of playing high if you can't go low. Well, I totally agree with that. Quite a few of you also left comments asking, will it work for other brass instruments? Simple answer is yes, actually very effectively. I don't think of it so much as being a trumpet system as being a system which generates very high frequency and very fast lip speed, and of course low frequency. The lips don't care what's attached to them. A few changes are needed for the trombone, but for the horn, the changes are minimal. Don't spend a lifetime trying to figure out how to play high. If you're interested in a lesson and finding out the very best way for you to play, contact me on the email below. I'm here to help you. You probably only need one lesson, and those that have had one wish they'd have done it before. I can't play with a totally relaxed face. No, you can't. Like I said in my 3 essential tips video, let the mouthpiece hold the lips in place as much as possible. The most important bit there being as much as possible. It can't be 100%, but as much as possible will make you more efficient. Trumpet and horn players can be more relaxed than trombone players because our mouthpiece is smaller and it can hold the vibrating area of the lips in place. I'll show you what I mean. You'll notice how my corners stayed firm. I wasn't consciously doing that. That was a very natural contraction from the face. But the center of the lip just collapsed because I'm keeping it relaxed and I'm letting the mouthpiece hold that part of the lips in place. It wasn't this. It's this. Here's my high frequency aperture. Now, because the lips are soft, if I apply pressure from the mouthpiece, it fills in the gap. When it does that, it makes the vibration faster and therefore I play higher. When I release the pressure against the lip, it opens a space up and I go lower. As I've mentioned in other videos, mouthpiece pressure is only damaging if the lip is tense and contracted. If the lip is relaxed, then it's not harmful. Watch my hand when I do this. I'll make a video about MDAS another time, but if you do have a gap or an HFA, place your mouthpiece over it and experiment with it. Fizz that air through it as fast as you can, but always be aware of it. You don't want to fill it in, you don't want to block it off. I'm only using my front teeth gap as an example of using what I have, but actually I have lots of options. But then most of you have options, you just don't realize it. If you want to find out more about MDAS, a great way to do that is to actually read through the comments. I respond to all of the comments and questions, and I tend to go into a little bit more detail about specific questions and techniques, so make sure you check that out. There are some new and exciting developments in progress for the Trumpet Prof, bringing you new ways to learn and enjoy your trumpet playing even more. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Hope you've enjoyed the video. See you next time.